Am I audible? Am I audible? Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? 'Cause... no voice. Yeah, I'm working on it. Chaos! Okay. What's going on here? All audio should be working. There. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me now? Seriously, put it in chat. Can you hear me? Right, okay. Let's try this again. I know my face is gone. It's because I have nested scenes. So this is just my audio. Working on it. Okay. Can I still be heard? Or am I just gone? Canst thou hear me? I think I'm good. Okay. I think I'm good. Sorry about that, everybody. Chaos. Always, right? Okay. Putting the music down a little bit. Hey! Hi, everyone! Sorry. Yeah, this is what happens when I don't get to test the stream before I go live. I changed. I think it was an issue with the scene that has, you know, the pretty Rings of Power design on it. But here we go. Okay, so hi, guys! Welcome to the not After Power Hour with not DonMarshall72. Don is at a wedding this week. He did say that before, but if you are new to Don's Patreon, welcome. You don't have exclusivity on this stream because I didn't set it up that way, and I wouldn't have been able to share it over on his Patreon anyway. So, free stream. Free stream for all. Oh yeah, chaos every single time. Every time. Typically my streams aren't too incredibly chaotic, but certainly when I don't have time to test things beforehand, yeah, definitely chaos. Yeah, this is my Wizards Unite frame. This is my typical frame. This is how things normally are. And I have all sorts of different scenes and stuff. I have stuff for gaming, I have ASMR stuff, I have craft streams that then turn on my overhead cam so you guys can see what's happening from the top. All sorts of stuff. Which is why I have what I was talking about, nested scenes. I have my audio nested so that it is a scene of its own, and then that's nested into a scene that's various audio stuff. So I have my audio filters that I do for various characters when I'm reading. So, like, example.
This is the foul line. No, Feanor. Feanor, no! So, voice filters. Right?
How about Valley Girl? So this is Nerdanel saying, "Oh my god, Feanor. Must we? Must we every single time?"
So, that's what I have. I can basically, I have all of those voice filters in one nested scene, and then I have all of my ASMR filters, like the cave filter that you guys heard that one time that I forgot to turn it off. So this one. So, like I'm in a cave. All the reverb. So I have all of my ASMR files in a different nested scene, and so all of those different things are then nested into one audio scene, and that is nested into every layout that I have. I know it's really convoluted, but it works super well. And then I have buttons on my loop deck that I press to activate and deactivate the different filters and stuff. Oh yeah, never giving this technology to Dawn. Like, you think my shit's chaotic. Oh man, I cannot even imagine what Dawn would do with this sort of power. Now, we've seen in the Unpredicted Party, he occasionally has voice filters that he'll put on. I've always wondered, I'll have to ask him, when he does that, if his voice in real time, like to the players, is altered, or if he only does that in post-production. Like, I'm super curious if he, like, has a filter that he puts on, and then as they are playing, they hear this deep, evil version of his voice. Like, when he's pretending to be Gwaihir. I would love to know that bit of information. In one of the live streams, we'll have to ask him. Don't give it to Dawn. Give it to Nat 20. Yeah, she would handle it. Nat would absolutely be able to handle it. She'd probably have a lot of fun messing around with it. I certainly did. I still need to go back and redo a bunch. I need to explore all of my different filters again, come up with some fun ASMR-only things. I have a lot of stuff I want to try out. I have not had the time. Chaos vampires. Speaking of, I know this is, supposed to be the after power hour, but anyone been watching the new Interview with the Vampire? The reason I was like, give me a couple minutes before I go live is because my roommates were not only talking to me about episode 6, which they just finished, but they also informed me that they paid for AMC, so they were having me log into their account on my television so that I can watch Interview with the Vampire. Sandra and I used to watch Interview with the Vampire, the movie, the one with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, before he was Tom Cruise crazy. We used to watch that with relative frequency. So, for Sandra, yeah, we're just here to hang. We're just here to hang. Nothing major. There's no real plan for this stream other than just chilling out with you guys. I probably will also do a calligraphy stream later this evening. I managed to do, like, all of the important stuff I had to get done today. I managed to finish that around, like, 2 to 3 p.m., so the rest of the evening is mine. I will probably also try and tackle a few more of my my email backlog over on my Elf Boy website, because, oof, I have like 45 email messages that I haven't read yet. I'm trying to slowly get through them. I'm hoping that not too many of them were time sensitive, because I have not been keeping up with those the last, like, 3.5, 4 weeks. Yeah, it's the AMC streaming. That's the only way to do the interview with the vampire. And I read a couple reviews about it. They were just like, well, if you're here for queerness, you're gonna be very happy. And I'm like, good, because the queer coding in Anne Rice's stories was like so much queerness, very found family, so much tension. Yes, there is a new Interview with the Vampire series. They made Louis Creole, which I'm very happy about. Again, not everyone needs to be fucking white when it comes to vampires, especially. So apparently they really just sort of loosely took the framework of Anne Rice and sort of updated it, and they've messed with it a lot. And I'm okay with that. I think, you know, we had the movie from, was it the early 90s? It was like late 80s, early 90s, right? I think it was in the 90s. We had the Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt version with Kirsten Dunst as Claudia. And Antonio Banderas as Armand, the vampire Armand. Even though Armand was supposed to be, what, like 15 or 16 when he was turned? It's fine, and he was a brunette. Whatever. He was Italian, I think. You exist purely on queerness. Yeah, I mean, same, basically. It's the only thing that brings me joy. But no, like, if we want something that's super true to the book, absolutely the old movie version, because Anne Rice co-wrote the thing. So it was very, very true to the source material because she was involved in the production from a screenplay standpoint. So, like, if you want something that's super true to the book, there you go. 94, thank you. Yeah. 1994. But if instead you would like a new interpretation with, you know, a more varied cast, I'm all for that. Much like with Rings of Power, like, bring it on. It's overdue. Let's bring paranormal and fantasy and all of this stuff to a larger audience. Like, let's finally include more people of color in franchises that are very well known but are very white dominated. I'm all for it. Is it bad that you have no idea what Interview with the Vampire is? No, it's okay. Anne Rice is, or was rather, because she has passed. Anne Rice was an author who did a very iconic vampire book series in the 80s and 90s. And gained so much prevalence that she really, for a period of time, dominated the genre. Brought it to a large enough audience that paranormal and urban fantasy became more of a thing. And yeah, so it became more of a thing. There was a larger audience for it, and that's when you started getting all of the other paranormal romance things starting to pop up like frickin' daisies. They were just everywhere. But that's why Twilight ended up being a thing. Twilight was the oddly Mormon-coded heterosexual version of the Vampire Chronicles. So bad. Oh, man. So the more queer version, and better version, honestly, because Twilight is just shit. The book came out in 76? Really? Gosh, it's that old? I didn't realize it was that old. That blows my mind. I thought it was in the 80s, not the 70s. Either way, I mean, Interview with the Vampire, it really set the tone for the entire genre. So you had the vampires are monsters and they aren't supposed to be redeemable. And then you had people who wanted to counter that and being like, no, vampires still have souls, they are redeemable, and in the case of Stephanie Meyer's, they sparkle. So you had, like, it splintered the genre. Anne Rice's stories splintered the genre, and you had just a ton of people writing paranormal, and especially paranormal romance after that. Huge boom of it. And then from there, it expanded, and you got... That's when you started getting a boom in urban fantasy. And that's when Laurel K. Hamilton started doing her thing. Don't get me started on Laurel K. Hamilton, though. The first 6 books in Anita Blake Vampire Hunter, fantastic. Wonderful books. They're dated, but they're fun. Characters are great. There's a lot of nuance there. And there's, love triangle bullshit, but sure. And for the time period, not too bad. But the moment she got a no edits clause in her contract as an author, quality of her work just plummeted. Hey, I enjoy early Laurel K. Hamilton. After you get past, I think it's Blood Moon. I think that was book 6 in Anita Blake Vampire Hunter. Once you hit Narcissus in Chains, everything just sort of fell apart. It became uncomfy. Everything revolves around all the sex that Anita has to have in order to survive because, oh no, she has the ardor now from Jean-Claude, the vampire master of St. Louis. Oh no. Oh no, I need sex to survive. I'm basically a succubus. Forget the fact that I was a necromancer to start the whole thing. Whatever. And I'm seducing and having sex with minors, but it's fine because they're above the age of consent in their state. It became messy, okay? It became messy. And then the characters who actually deserved more time on the page and had legitimate concerns with Anita and tried to hold her to her bullshit, get completely discarded. Literally, Damien ends up being shoved into the attic. And he's only brought out when he's of use to her. To either feed her ardor, which is the sexual drive that she has, that gives her power or whatever. She needs sex every couple of hours or something. I'm like, bet you would never get anything done. And that's basically what happens. It's basically what happens. So yeah, don't get me too into Anita Blake Vampire Hunter, and don't even get me started on Mary Gentry, because that happened after she had already gotten the no edits clause in her contract. So like nobody was editing that shit. Just as bad. You just wanted fairies. I mean, yeah, and this is why I very much consider Laurel K. Hamilton to be a guilty pleasure. And it's hilarious that the first book in the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series is called Guilty Pleasures. Because the series very much is that, though I didn't get past Skin Trade. Skin Trade was the one that eventually took her to Las Vegas, and just couldn't handle it after that. I was hate reading at that point. I was a part of a live journal group that did what was called sporking back in the age. Back in the day when we had live journal communities. Live journal was social media. It was basically like Reddit, okay? It was Reddit before Reddit was Reddit. And live journal, you just would start threads with people. Same basic idea as Reddit. But you would have a group specifically for a topic. And this one was a Laurel K. Hamilton spork group. And sporking is when you are poking fun at something. Like when you are reading it just to shit on it. And so many people had gotten to that point with her as an author. You still use Dreamwidth? Yeah, everybody tried to move over to Dreamwidth when LiveJournal got taken over literally by the Russians. LiveJournal was sold to Russia. And just suddenly everything was crap. Not everything Russian is crap, but in this case, it did no favors to LiveJournal, and it made a lot more sense for us to move on over to Dreamwidth. But most accounts didn't survive after the move. First internet account in 1984. That's impressive. But yeah, so I was a part of a sporking group for Laurel K. Hamilton stuff. And just, oh man, people were brutal. But people were like, it wasn't, it was sort of a tongue-in-cheek, like, this is terrible writing, and you should feel bad. Like, you should feel bad for putting shit like this out there. But it was honestly all meant in good fun. Like, this is before people were, like, taking it to the level of actually making death threats and shit. Like, people didn't take it too seriously. But she didn't ingratiate herself to the fandom. If anyone wants to have a fun time, look up Laurel K. Hamilton and her fan letter. Because she wrote a letter, and it was addressed to all of her fans who didn't like Anita Blake. And like she jumped off the deep end. She doubled down and was like, hey, I write what I write, and if you don't like it, you can just not read it. And yeah, duh. No one's forcing us to read your shit, but we've gotten to the point where it's fun to rip you to shreds. And so it was a lighthearted, it's so weird using this term, but it was like a lighthearted hate group. No one was taking it too seriously, but just the writing got so bad that all you could do was make fun of her for it. And she's still publishing them. I looked it up. What are we on? Book 28 of Anita Blake now? I looked it up sometime recently because I remembered the fan letter thing. And it made me laugh. Oh no, am I timing out? Is my internet going crappy again? Crud. Just watch, my internet is going down. Oh, nope, okay, we're good. Just double checking. You know, my internet has been very, very testy. Let's see. Laurel K. Hamilton, Anita Blake. Books in order. Okay, here we go. That's ironic. It's on fantasticfiction.com. Not so much. Oh, Lord. 29. 29 books. And only the first 6 or 7 are good. Like, when you have a maybe baby plot that takes up half a book, and then the other half of the book is like some threat to your city with, I don't know, like something more powerful than vampires, but they come and you basically literally Care Bear stare them into not killing everyone. And that all ends halfway through your book and the rest is just maybe baby. Like, I think you've like, I would say you've hit rock bottom at that point. And yet, that was Dance Macabre, and that was only book 14. I stuck with it. I stuck with it until Skin Trade, which was book 17, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it to myself. But honestly, the first, it's 8 books. Blue Moon, Blue Moon is book 8. And in my opinion, that was the last book that was really good. I enjoyed the first 8 books of the series. From Guilty Pleasures to Blue Moon. But everything past that was just a hot mess. I just think if you're there for vampire smut, like, there are so many better choices. Especially if you're there for queer vampire smut. Like, if Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, which is queer-coded, but there's, like, nothing explicit in it, if that is satisfying more than Laurel K. Hamilton, like, then Laurel K. Hamilton is doing something wrong, because she gets very explicit. Is that where you quit too? Yeah, we only got to a certain point, and then we couldn't take it anymore. Hey, Eli, what's up? We're just shooting the shit, honestly. This is supposed to be the After Power Hour, talking about episode 6 of The Lord of the Rings of Power. We quickly went off on a tangent for the new Interview with the Vampire series that is available on AMC. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. You quit around Cerulean Sins. Narcissus in Chains, Cerulean Sins, and Incubus Dreams, which are books 10, 11, and 12. Those 3, me and my group of roleplay friends, we rewrote them on LiveJournal. We took the entire plot of the book, and we all assigned ourselves characters, and we rewrote the book in threads. Think if you went on Reddit and just decided to, as a community, rewrite an entire book. We did that for those 3 books. It was amazing. And then we gave ourselves little icons that said, I survived Cerulean Sins on LiveJournal. Oh, it was so much fun. The secret Don Patreon chat. Yeah, the not secret because I made it a public stream. I should have just made it unlisted and only shared the link to you guys in the other chat. That would have been the smart thing to do. I just didn't think it through. But yes, we had an entire group of people on LiveJournal in a group called Milliways. I'm not sure if anyone here has even heard of this, but on LiveJournal specifically back in the day, there was a group called Milliways, and this was the bar at the edge of the universe, which I know is taken from some book somewhere. I think it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Milliways is the bar at the end of the universe. And any door in any universe, anywhere, in any fandom whatsoever, can enter onto the bar at the edge of the universe. And so it means that you had Namo, Lord of the Dead from the Tolkien universe, interacting with Pikachu. Literally, Pikachu. Because people would just app anything they felt like. Or you would have those people interacting with Eleanor Rigby from the Beatles song. Like, you could app anything, and the chaos was beautiful. It was beautiful. I apped characters from Anita Blake. I apped characters from... I'm trying to think. From the Silmarillion for a short period of time. And I apped a character from Revolutionary Girl Utena, or Shoujo Kakame Utena, which is an anime that I liked back in the day. Still like it. It's very heavy with symbolism. Lots of angst. High school angst. But you could app anything you wanted, and all of these characters could interact with each other, and it was a lot of fun. My partner really liked apping personifications of the tarot. So we had, Moon from the Major Arcana apped as a character. The Ten of Swords, aka Ruin, was also apt as a character. And you could have these concepts from the tarot interacting with anything from any fandom. It was so chaotic and so wonderful. So it was a group of us who had all apped Anita Blake characters, and we just decided to completely rewrite and play through the entire plot of Narcissus in Chains, Cerulean Sins, and what was it? Incubus Dreams. All three of them. I know my partner saved, like, an archive of these before LiveJournal went away. I just have no idea where it is. I could probably ask my roommates. Roger probably knows where it is. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Pan fandom games are still immensely popular. I'm not surprised by that. They're a lot of fun, but it gets super chaotic, and just the more people you have involved, the more potential there is for drama, because people just don't know how to handle themselves with other people. And just, there was so much drama. Even, like, I accidentally had one of my vampire characters trying to have blood donors sign up in the bar in Milliways. And apparently I didn't go through the proper channels. No one told me this was a thing. I was brand new to it. But people were like, you can't do that in the bar without, like, getting permission from people who run the bar. And I'm like, okay, like, these are actual people that I'm supposed to ask? And so I got in, like, a huge amount of trouble, and just people got so angry. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm new. All you had to say is, no, like, this isn't how this is supposed to be done, so next time do it this way. Sure. Oh my god, so much drama over stupid shit. And just, you know, people where they would play their characters and they didn't like the way it ended up, and it just caused nothing but drama. You know, and people couldn't ever agree on whether they wanted to retcon and replay something, or just, oh my god. Listening to Sandra deal with drama with all the other people she was involved with on Milliways was a nightmare. This is why I only had a couple characters. I think I had like 3 characters. I enjoyed reading other people's stuff, but I mostly took a backseat until we did the rewrites of Anita Blake, which was a lot of fun. I played Damien. Damien was my character. And so I'll fight for him. I'll fight for Damien justice. Yeah, if you see Bad Elvish, no you didn't. No, like, I mean, that was sort of the nice thing, was that Sandra at that point was so well known in the fanfiction community that if she went up to people and was like, hey, you need to replace this with this, people didn't tend to push back too hard against her anymore. It was nice. But she was, for a period of time, one of the more knowledgeable people when it came to Neo Sindrin. This is back in like 2004 to 2007 or 8. Nowadays, all of the knowledge that she had would have been outdated, and that's why I had to relearn, and I'm still relearning when it comes to Elvish. Ooh, only 12 minutes of episode 6 left. I hope you enjoy it, Eli. I feel like we shouldn't talk about it then, if you haven't finished it. You can't edit them after people reply, or you would. Oh. Is this... I don't know what platform you're talking about anymore. An RP reply tab open right now. Nope! RP is fun. RP is what Sandra and I did for years. I have 12 years of RP logs. Well, no, I take that back. I think about 10 of the 12 years of our relationship, I think I have about 10 years of our RP logs. They go back. And they're across like 4 or 5 different platforms. We've got Yahoo Instant Messenger, we've got Pigeon, we've got AOL Instant Messenger back before that was, you know, completely taken down and deactivated. Google Talks for a while. Like, we went all over the place with our RP. There was something, I think it was called Trillion. I think we had trillion for a while too. So like, oh man, it was all over the place. But we've got an archive of like basically everything we ever wrote together. Based on LJ code. Okay. When someone replies to a comment, it's locked from changes. Interesting. I didn't remember that being a thing, that you couldn't edit things. So it was only after people replied that you couldn't? It's been so long, I don't remember. But oh man, how fun it was. That stuff was fun. It was so much drama, but it was a lot of fun. I remember Sandra had apped the character Moon, again, from the Major Arcana, the Tarot. And Moon, her PB, or played by, it's the picture, the icon that you use to visually represent your character, was, what's her name, the lead singer from Evanescence back in the day. She was the PB for Moon. Oh yeah, super inconvenient that things are locked. So you can't, like, edit things. Twitter's like that too. I mean, you can apparently pay for Twitter Premium and it gives you, like, 30 seconds to, oops, I messed something up, let's go back and edit it. But the moment people start replying to your shit, it locks it down again. And I'm like, nah, why am I gonna pay for the privilege of being able to edit for only 30 seconds? Dumb. Amy Lee, thank you. Amy Lee from Evanescence was the visual representation for this character. And Sandra had Moon interacting with, like, werewolf characters from a bunch of different fandoms because of how werewolves react to the moon. So it was really interesting. She would do things based on the phases, based on what time of month, where you were in the phase of the moon cycle, and she would change her personality based on that. It was so much fun to watch her play with it. Roger, which is Sandra's husband, he apped Melkor at one point. So we had Melkor, like from Lord of the Rings, the original big baddie, Morgoth. He apped Melkor and had him interacting with people. So much fun. Oh man, so much fun. I kind of miss those days, but I don't miss all the drama. I wouldn't have the energy for it now, honestly. But it's one of those things that I would, you know, even when I wasn't active, I would sometimes go in and read what Sandra or Roger were doing with their characters. Kind of a safety thing. Yeah. Right. No, I totally understand witchery. Yeah. Because if you are having a fight, just like on Twitter, you don't want people to go back and be able to change what they actually said to then invalidate whatever anyone else had said in reply. So yeah, it can get super confusing if you allow unlimited editing. But it depends on the purpose behind your platform. Because you look at something like Reddit and Discord, and you can edit stuff. You can edit things, and it just makes a log of what was edited and when. So the information is there if you want to find it. But yeah. Surrounded by Feanor's sons on Dreamwith sent help. I mean, do you really want help? Is that such a bad place to be? I mean, if I'm surrounded by the sons of Feanor, oh no. Oh no. Feanorians, no. No, I will not send aid. Because I want to see what happens. Well. Only with some that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck in a room with Curufin and Kelegorm, so I understand. Everyone else I think I'd be aight with. Caranthir, he's a hothead, canonically. Like, his name means red-faced. Like, he gets angry. But you know, maybe that anger is just, you know, a shell of possession, and he needs to work on that a little bit. He just likes you and doesn't want to share you with all of his brothers. Don't send aid, send power aid. Oh, God. I mean... oh, man. No, that's too accurate. No. Yeah, see, unlike Don, who tries to keep his streams PG, like, I don't even try. Maedhros and Celegorm reply to you most. One is less dangerous than the other. Yeah, for sure. Like, Maedhros is dangerous, but he's honorable. Celegorm, not so much. Also super self-centered. So yeah, given the choice between those two, definitely Maedhros. Maedhros has also been through some shit and deserves some comfort and love. Oh, you used to do RP on Discord? It can be super fun. I used to follow a couple people on TikTok that were cosplayers, and they did a lot of RP groups through Discord. I logged in at one point to try and get involved, and just... it was too hard to get involved for me. No. PG, like, I'm just saying that in general, my chatting ends up going more NC-17. I try to not be super duper explicit, but, you know. We're adults. Most of the people watching me are adults, not kids. And like, it's not my job to make sure that every single person watching me is of age. You cut off your hair? You're in the short hair crew? Nice, Lane. I mean, I hope you like it. There are times when I miss my long hair, and then there are other times where I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I can't be bothered with it anymore. It's too much effort. I do not have the spoons to deal with long hair anymore. And it's gonna get real short soon. When I go in for top surgery, I'm almost gonna buzz my head. Like, it's going super short. Mainly because I'm not gonna be able to brush my hair. I can't lift my arms that high, so I won't be able to brush my hair. If I can't take care of my hair at all, because I'm gonna need help even just with shampooing and stuff, since I won't be able to lift my hands super high, I need as little hair as possible. So we're gonna really chop it short come November, and then it'll grow out. It'll take its time and grow out. I thought about cutting it super short and doing the bleach blonde thing and trying to make a costume as one of the Mystics for Halloween, but I don't have the spoons. I don't have the spoons. I would love to do a Mystics costume though. That would be super fun. Just gotta get that scowl, you know, the coal eyes and the scowl down. Just take some pictures. Cut it a week ago. Finishing it tomorrow. Cool. Oh yeah, it's so effortless. Like, I do literally nothing to my hair when I wake up in the morning. Nothing. It's so convenient. And I mean, I know I have white person hair, so I have white person hair privilege. I can wake up and do nothing to my hair and just not worry about it. But it's because I have relatively straight hair. It's thick, but it's not that thick. It's getting thinner with every year. I will definitely have hair thinning as a thing as I get older. And I mean, I'm already at 36. I know I don't look it, but I am 36. I'll say my sister's starting to get gray hair. She looks so cute with it, though. Short so it doesn't move around much. Yeah, and then you don't have to style it, basically. Basically. Same vibe that I'm going for. I mean, mine is short on the sides. Like, it's... I get it buzzed on the sides. I just have them cut it as short as possible. And then all of my length is just this upper portion. So, technically I have a faux hawk. Because it's just the upper portion here, on both sides. And the rest is just super short. Aw, your partner's getting grays? I know, like, some people are super sensitive about it, but I love it. I love it. I like that everyone's hair starts the graying process differently. Like, some people go platinum, and everything turns white. Some people it comes in chunks, some people it's very salt and pepper. Hi, Gray. We're talking about gray hairs, and then my cat Gray arrives. Gray, are you gonna come over here? Or are you just gonna give people just a little hint of your tail? Hey. What? Come here. Gray. You could see me doing Galadriel for Halloween? Nah, I'd be more likely do Finrod. Gray, come here. There we go. Come here. Come here. You're okay. Come here. Come here. There we go. He's like, ugh. You're okay? Yeah. He's like, I do not consent. I do not consent. There's no consent for cats. You know this, Gray. Hi. He's like, I hate you. I love you. Keep petting me. Okay, now he's sitting. Now he's good. He's good now. And yes, that is music. It's for my quartet. Because I'm part of a quartet. I sing bass. In my primarily non-binary people quartet. I'm certainly not as deep as a assigned male at birth bass dude. But I sing pretty deep. You hate Waldrick so much. I know, right? Like, people were talking in Dawn's stream. They were just like, I'm gonna curse Waldrick forever now. I'm gonna curse him forever. Every time I watch Frodo and Sam struggling across the plains of the Gorgoroth to get to Mount Doom, I'm just gonna curse Waldrick. Love you, Gray. He's rumble purring. He's purring super loud. I'm pretty sure you guys just can't hear it, though. Dead. I'm living your hair dream? Oh. Rogue style streak into your hair in junior high? That's what I did in high school. Yeah. That's when I still had long hair. I wish I had a picture I could show you guys. I don't have it anywhere near me, though. I don't even know where I would look for it. But, I'll say somewhere. I know I digitized everything. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it. Where would I have this? I'm gonna see if I can find it. Because I'm pretty sure if I go to this PC, I think it's my Elements drive, maybe? Wow, some of this stuff goes back. Doxy photo scans. Here we go. I'm gonna find it. I have everything from baby pictures all the way through like high school and a little bit of college. Like, guys, you want to see me when I'm younger? Oh my gosh. This takes me back. Okay. I found my senior picture. Okay, I found my senior pictures. I'm gonna bring this up on OBS. When we were young. Okay, let's see. Image. Chris pick. Browse. Elements. Doxy. What is this? 2003. Alright, there it is. There it is, everybody. Is me. That's me with long hair. So, there you go. Gosh, how many years ago is that? That's 19 years ago. 19 years ago. Yeah, streak and a half. Yeah, it was the first like front 2 inches of my hair at the time. But boy, was there drama trying to get there, because I went to a beauty school to let them do the streak, and they did not use the right proportions of whatever they needed to use for the peroxide and stuff and the bleach. So I ended up... Sorry, Gray. Okay, thank you. So I ended up with, like, the front of my scalp completely burned off. It was terrible. It was bad. And it didn't even get it blonde. It was like this weird orange color. They had completely botched it. So it took me a couple tries before I finally got the rogue streaks that I wanted. But yeah, that's me. Senior year of high school. Senior year. Look how young I am. Hocus Pocus Charmed vibes. Yeah. God. Yeah, that's what would happen when I would braid my hair. It would come out sort of quasi-curly. Let's see if I have any other pics that I want to share. This was also... I know you can't really see it, but in this picture here, this was my junior prom dress that was custom made. That totally shows my privilege. Holy shit. But I designed the embroidery for the front of it, and my mom did like silver thread embroidery on it by hand to make it elvish for me. So it's my elf prom dress. Trying to look and see. It's so weird looking at old pictures of myself. Oh man. Yeah, the bleaching was bad. That was a very horrible experience. Had to prop your digital cameras up on the floor, right? No one had tripods. No one had tripods. Pictures were not the best. I'm such a beautiful nerd. I mean, yes. I was also really into Cirque du Soleil, and so for a period of time I was flexibility training. I have a couple pictures of that if you guys want to see. I can show you guys that. Let's change this up. I mean, this is kind of fun. Oh, nope. It changed and then it went back. Hold on. It's because I pressed the wrong button. Where was I? There. Open. Okay. There we go. So this was me in Montreal. One of the few times I left the country. So I went to see the premiere of Cirque du Soleil's Corteo when it first came out. And so I was just hanging out in the park, playing with my Diabolos, and doing some flexibility stuff. So, this is old. This is old stuff. This is before I hurt my back. Way before I hurt my back. But I was flexibility training. Like, I was really trying to get to contortion level flexibility, which for someone who has scoliosis, not an easy thing. I'll show you another one. Same area. That one. There we go. Was me doing some handstand stuff. I know this has turned into a very weird trip down memory lane, but here we go. Flexibility training. It was actually fun. I miss being able to do that stuff. I could also put a hoop on my toes and twirl the hoop on my toes while I did this. Yeah, the circus eye makeup. I did a lot of circus eye makeup. Oh wow, I even have some of my hallway stuff. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna have fun just going through some of my old circus shit. As long as y'all are having fun, we're gonna keep going, because I think it's fun. Okay, where is it? I think this is probably as far as I got. That's as far as I got. So, Flexible Chris, back in the day. This was also like 70 pounds ago. So, I'm much thicker now. And my back is broken. But yeah, I would just, this is me in my dorm. I would go into the hallway of my dorm and just practice. I know I have another shot, same time period. Like same photo shoot even, if I can find it. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. This is what I would do in my dorm. Daily. Sometimes twice a day. I would flexibility train. And I'd just be doing splits against the wall. You can see I'm doing over splits there where it's more than 180 degrees. So yeah. Yeah, we were talking early aughts anyway. So yeah, you know, the time period accurate. Let's see. The bow pose, what? I do have an actual bow and arrow pose picture. I do actually have one. And again, these are terrible pictures, but better than nothing, I guess, right? Okay, there you go. So there's the bow and arrow position. You can see my lower leg, my knee there is compensating. It's not good. I was flexible, though. I was very flexible at the time. Look at those arm muscles, too. I had guns. That's what I miss. I don't... there's not much here anymore. It's more squishy. But yeah, that was back, like, peak of my training. But yeah, I could go down into the splits on the floor and just, like, twist and turn and lay back against my leg. It was pretty cool. And people were like, ouch! It wasn't that bad, honestly. It didn't feel bad, at least. But yeah, that's way back there. I was... How old was I? This was... It says it on the pictures. What year was this? 2005. So I was 19. I was 19. I look way younger in the pictures, but I'm 19 there. So that was college. But you were talking about makeup too. I have plenty of makeup pictures. I had a lot of fun with makeup. Let me choose one of those. So, makeup. I would just do this in my room. This was when I was in the Bay Area for massage school. So that's 2006. So I was 20. Dubious ligaments. EDS. I don't have EDS. I'm not super crazy double jointed. I can't, you know, I can't do things that crazy level double jointed people can. I can't. I don't have an overbend to my elbow. The only time I had hyperextension in my knees is when I was training it. When I was putting workout, you know, those workout platform things that people use for like step aerobics. I would put one or two of those up and I would put one foot up on that and go into the splits so that I would be training my over splits to go over 180 degrees. When I was doing that, I trained my knees to buckle a little bit. Oh, yours were dubious. Gotcha. Gray, what are you doing? Well, you come up here and then you don't want me to pet you? Silly boy. But yeah, so I did makeup and stuff too. So yeah. I had a lot of fun doing circusy stuff. Okay, and then I'm seeing lots of old pictures. Trying to see if I have anything else that's like worth sharing. Oh man, high school me. High school me. It's so strange to look back at. I have marching band pictures, because of course I was in marching band. Oh, okay. There's a little bit of college stuff. For a period of time, I tried out, I was part of, it wasn't gang oriented, I promise, but there were the dorms on North Campus in the university that I went to. They were cumulatively known as El Norte. And so for homecoming, the El Norte dorms got to do their own thing, separate from the other dorms on campus. And it was typically, I think it was 2 women only only dorms and one men only dorm. And so we did our own version of like a pageant during which you had to, it wasn't like it was kind of just popularity contest and talent based. And so for this, I did circus stuff. I did like a hoop routine that I had worked on for like 2 semesters, where I was showing off my flexibility and I could do hula hoops on my feet, which is called a form of manipulation. It's like rhythmic gymnastics, almost, kind of. So I did that, and I won. I won the pageant, and so I ended up being Miss El Norte, and I got to ride on our homecoming float for the North Campus dorms. So that was something I got to do. Hey, Sherbet Lemon, thank you so much for being here. Good night. But yeah, so I actually, that's the only time I've ever won a pageant. But it wasn't like it wasn't an official pageant circuit kind of thing. Not like Toddlers and Tiaras and like Miss America and all that shit. Like none of that. None of that. But I did manage to do that, and I think the theme for that particular homecoming was like from Mount Olympus or something, and so we were all dressed in togas. That's the only like school pride thing I ever did. I had like absolutely zero school pride. No loyalty whatsoever. I had no team loyalty. None of our teams at my university were competing in anything even remotely large or important. We weren't top of the game in anything. So I had like no reason to go to any sporting events during college until I transferred to UNLV, which I did later. I did that later on. I still never went to any games, even when I was at UNLV. And UNLV is mostly known for, like, their basketball. At least back in that time period, basketball wasn't bad at UNLV. I know they got to the finals a couple of years before I was at school there. They got to the Final Four for collegiate basketball. Men's basketball, at least. So, kind of cool, but I didn't really do much. I was in my own little bubble. I was very, very focused on my schoolwork, so I didn't have very much of a social life. Not during college. If one can have regrets, I don't really regret doing what I did in college, but I did miss out on certain life experiences. I didn't go to any parties, just had no interest in party culture whatsoever, and I'm still very much like that. I'm a stick in the mud. Which is why I enjoy things like Tipsy Tolkien. When I do that with Don, it's a lot of fun, because I never got to do that. I never did that in high school or college. I was just never a partier. And I was not the kind to crash a party that I was not invited to. Too much of a good boy for that. You're not American. Yeah, yeah, there's a whole culture in American collegiate stuff. It's weird. Togas. I mean, I don't know how many toga parties still happen, but back then they were relatively common. Especially if you were a pledge, if you were pledging into a sorority or fraternity, toga stuff happened all the time for them. Because it was Greek. Ooh, murder mystery nights. Those would be fun. I haven't done any of those, but that would totally be fun. Yeah, I was totally the good kid. I was the good kid. My sibling got into all the trouble. You know, with drugs and partying and all that stuff. And I just sort of, I saw the consequences of that and I was like, well, that's not worth it. So I just didn't do any of that. It was not on my priority list whatsoever. That's the real cult, right? You went to the nerd parties. I didn't even go to nerd parties. I didn't go to anything. I was never a partier. Like, trust me, marching band people can hold parties. Like, dating with the marching band gets weirdly incestuous. Like, everyone has dated everybody else, and it's like you've dated everyone by proxy at some point, and, like, I wanted nothing to do with that. So, a lot of my friends, there was just so much relationship drama that I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. And so I just left it alone entirely. I was no fun. I mean, throughout college, I had a grand total of 2 boyfriends. One of them was a foreign exchange student from Wales. He was going to uni at Chelsea, I think it is. Chelsea in Wales. He himself wasn't Welsh, though. He was British. He was fun. Great guy. It lasted, I mean, officially we were only dating for a couple weeks, but we were very close friends for the majority of the 2 semesters that he was there, doing his American Studies part of his degree. He was a history major. And I'm like, well, that's depressing. I'm like, only history I know is Tolkien history. He used to laugh about that. That I couldn't remember anything when it came to American history, but you put it in Tolkien terms, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then this battle happened in this year. It's just so much easier with a fantasy world. I don't know, I felt so much more invested. It's not good. High school sucked, and so did everyone there. Yeah, yeah. High school was not the best for me. And it was... I was never part of, like, the popular kid group ever. Didn't really care that much about it. I got over the trying to impress people thing relatively early. Like, my give a damn was absolutely busted by, like, junior year of high school. I did not care. And if anyone wanted to start some shit, like, okay. Like, you really want to go there? I just didn't think it was worth their time or my time to do any of that. And so, yeah. I remember I became drum major of my marching band my senior year, and I just went up right in front of the band and I was like, okay, I'm like, there are a lot of rumors right now going around that I am a lesbian. I would like to point out that they are incorrect. I am bisexual. I think. You know, for someone who'd never dated. Because I hadn't dated. I didn't date anybody. Not in high school. And so I was just like, you know, for someone who hasn't dated, I'm like, I'm bisexual, I think. If y'all have any questions about that or any problems with that, you can talk to me personally after. Okay? Bye. And only one person came up, and they just didn't understand what bisexuality was, and so they had some questions. Harmless, relatively. And nowadays, it's so much more common that it's not nearly as traumatic for people. At least in some parts of the country, it's not nearly as traumatic as it used to be to come out. I just didn't care anymore. And so at the time, I was like, well, I think I'm bi because I'm attracted to, at the time, I was attracted to my best friend. Of course, you know, later on down the line, I'm still in contact with them, and he's trans. Who knew? So, like, I'm non-binary. They ended up being trans the entire time. I thought I was, you know, in love with my female friend. Turns out they were a trans man. And I'm like, huh. I'm like, everyone I've ever liked has ended up being a gay man. What's up with that? Which is why I'm like pan boy in not boy body. We're working on that. Thus the top surgery. Ah, you're arrow ace. Okay. Yeah, dating. Huh? What and why? What date? Why date? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the appeal for parties for a lot of people in college is to hook up. But when you're not motivated by sex, when you're ace like me, I'm on the ace spectrum. I'm what's called an ego. I'm an egosexual or agosexual. Not ego waffle. It's AEGO or ANEGO. And that is basically when you're okay with the concept of sex, but just the moment you get into the moment and focus is put on you, you get very uncomfortable and don't want to do anything. A-okay with the concept of sex, but I don't want to be the focus of anything. It completely shuts me down. And part of that is rooted in my dysphoria, because I don't feel at home in my body. So having the focus be put on that body is very dysphoric for me, and so that's where I'm currently at. But yeah, not motivated by sex at all. I find it strange. But because of that, yeah, there wasn't much appeal to party culture. I didn't feel the need to get drunk. I didn't feel the need to escape reality in the way that some people turn to alcohol and drugs to do. That was not a motivator for me, and neither was sex. So why would I go? Because even just by being there, people expected that of you. And I was like, no. That, and I just didn't know. It's harder to deal with people when they are drunk in some ways because they're unpredictable. And being, now I know I'm on the autistic spectrum. It's harder to deal with people when they're unpredictable like that. And so I didn't know how to function around people who were partying, and so I just didn't put myself in that situation. It's interesting to look back on it now, if I knew then what I know now kind of thing. I still wouldn't have gotten involved in parties if I knew what I know now. You hate conflict. Yeah. You hate turning him down and having to fight about it. Yeah, exactly. It's just so much drama. I didn't need that. I was just like, I'm trying to go for like the whole A pluses in everything. I don't have time for this. I will go back to studying. Studying played into my hyperfocus a lot, and so I ended up being a very, very good student. I just missed out on everything else. It was to the exclusion of all else. Parties made you want to carry a big blow-up hammer to hit people with for being too much. Yeah, I feel that vibe. You like to dance, but you rarely did because bullies. Yeah. People were rude. Super rude. Hey, Lane, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Good night. Yeah, I'll probably call quits soon. We haven't even talked about Lord of the Rings. Like, this title for this stream is completely inaccurate. Talked about everything but Lord of the Rings. But I mean, when it comes to Rings of Power, if we are going to try and bring it back around, like, I don't know what to think. I loved the way that they tied together bits and pieces from previous episodes, like the tunnels and the horror element of, Arondir being grabbed from behind and yanked into the darkness and stuff like that. Like, that all happened with these tunnels. And we saw, them battling about the, cutting down the tree, and in his own way, Arondir, unfortunately had some part in the whole exploding of Orodruin. So, do we think Sauron will be hot enough to dance with, though? He better be. He better be. Like, hot Sauron should make you want to dance. You know what I mean? like, in a sexy way. He should, with minimal effort, this guy should make you want to shed your clothing and just invite him to do whatever he likes. There should be a magnetism and absolute just mind fuckery of attractiveness should be going on with Sauron. That's how I think of the character. This guy should be able to convince you to do anything. Like, that's the whole point of Sauron, and especially him taking his fair form. This fair form that he takes is like custom made to be everything that Celebrimbor wants / needs. So I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Yeah, it's pity Lee Pace was already in The Hobbit. He would make a great Anatar. He really would. I absolutely agree with that. I think that Lee Pace would make a fantastic Anatar. He's got the vibe. Like, he can go dark really easily. And that's what this character needs. Yeah, he could step on me. Absolutely. Yeah. Lee Pace can step on my throat any day. I will thank him. Yeah, but Sauron is supposed to appear like a really beautiful form. It's the fairest form that he could contrive, I think is the quote from Unfinished Tales, which I have right in front of me. I can check that. I'm like, I have it. Let's look. Okay, where is it? Because I think it's just the center of the book. That might not be it. No, it is. Okay. It's in the section called History of Galadriel and Celeborn. Where is it? Where is it? I was researching this earlier, so some of the pages are like they still have a little bit of space in them because I had a bookmark in there. But I know it says the fairest form that he could contrive. Where is it? I know it's in here. Okay. Yep, I found it. Okay. Page 236. When he felt himself to be secure, he sent emissaries to Eriador. And finally, in about the year 1200 of the Second Age, came himself, wearing the fairest form that he could contrive. And this is a god we're talking about. Demigod, whatever. But, like, this is a god we're talking about. The fairest form he can contrive is pretty damn fair, okay? Like, this guy should make us want to just fucking grovel. There should be power and allure and just yes. He should make you want to say yes to anything that he suggests. He's that good looking. The fairest form that he could contrive. It then goes on to say, but in the meantime, the power of Galadriel and Celeborn had grown, and Galadriel, assisted in this by her friendship with the dwarves of Moria, had come into contact with the Nandorian realm of Lorinand on the other side of the Misty Mountains. Yeah. But yeah, that's a section of Unfinished Tales. It is literally the fairest form that he can contrive. And that is kind of telling to me. He should absolutely be 100% in control of the situation. and playing Celebrimbor like a well-tuned instrument. He custom made this form to win over the elves, especially Celebrimbor. 'Cause he acting sus. You blame Anatar for the shadiness? Har har. Yeah, Galadriel in dark mode has firm goals. I can at least appreciate that. And Elrond does have Golden Retriever energy. I completely agree. Rav Aramayo's Elrond, this poor guy, like, just, it's not gonna go well for him. Not at all. You don't know why Waldreg likes Sauron so much? He didn't even wait till he was hot. Like, poor taste. I mean, the personality of Sauron is the same. So, I mean, maybe we should feel pretty good about Waldreg. Because Waldreg just sees what's there. He sees the you know, the true being underneath the form. No matter what Sauron ended up looking like, he still has that same alluring, commanding, silver-tongued personality. So, I mean, if anything, Waldreg appreciates Sauron for who he really is. And we can kind of be okay with Waldreg for that, I guess? Question mark? It's not just about his body. So if anything, Waldreg has great taste. You didn't even see him. Like, I know, right. He's just been told stories and he's like, I gotta meet this guy. He's like, this guy sounds amazing. If I ever get the chance. Oh, sorry, Gray. He's literally right here. Hi, Gray. You're like, no, I don't want to like Waldreg. Waldreg is a snake. But I low-key relate to him. I low-key relate to Waldreg. Because I, too, want to find Sauron. I'm wondering where the fuck he is. He guess the Southlands have horny fanfic. That's funny. They probably do. Okay, Gray, don't lay on top of the keyboard, please. Thank you. I love you, but please don't do that. Because you'll cause weird commands to be input to my streaming software. Love you, Gray. It's a good point, but no. That's fine. I can respect that. That's perfectly fine. I will absolutely accept that. That is fine. Okay. Oh, boy. Apart from that, though, I'm thinking... I really did like the detail with Adar in the previous episode where he had the orc expose his skin to the sunlight, and he was just like, I'll miss it. I'll miss the sunlight. And we didn't quite know what he was talking about. It didn't connect yet exactly what he meant, but what he meant was, I'm gonna miss it because I know I'm about to make the volcano explode, and we won't see the sun. Not in the same way. He's like, I won't be able to see the sun for quite a while. I'm going to miss it when it's gone. It's not that he expected to bring down the sun herself, but he was going to attempt to blot it out to give a home to the orcs. So I liked the way that they integrated all those little tiny details into the culmination of the explosion. I thought that was good. Hey, thank you, Melinda. We'll probably be wrapping it up pretty soon. You do hope that Adar and Galadriel face off again? In a talky way? Yeah. I liked the way that it wasn't just, and she tries to kill him and that's it. because Adar is a fascinating character. Even if he's not Maeglin, which it doesn't seem like he is. But being one of these elves that was twisted and corrupted and moved to the service of the darkness. Though now he's basically free agent. Like, he doesn't care what Sauron's plan is. He knows what his plan is, his own plan. He thought... I think he honestly thinks that he killed Sauron. Or at least made him formless to the point that Sauron couldn't take action against him. He thinks that if Sauron is gone, he's at least temporarily gone to the point where he thinks he can hijack Sauron's plans in order to, you know, give his little independent band of free orcs their home. The Dutch angles when Galadriel was talking to him, though, I assume that's a cinematography term, Dutch angles. I don't know what you mean exactly, but I still need to rewatch it again. I plan on doing that. I need to make my Twitter thread as well. All of my friends have already done all the translations. I'm way behind the curve this week. Oh yeah, you play Lotro as an elvish hunter? That's cool. I was a little bummed that it wasn't Maeglin. I was really hoping that, like, it seemed so far-fetched, but I was kind of hoping they would do that. But yeah, it seems like it's not Maeglin. It's not 100% confirmed because we still don't have a name for the guy other than Adar. And what did they call it? What did Galadriel call him? Oh, sudden yawn, sorry. The Morion? The Morioni? Morionian? It's a son of darkness. Morion is son of darkness. Or dark sun. And then the plural should probably be Morioni, with an I on the end. Just like a teller is one of the telleri. Telleri is the plural. It's Noldo, singular. Noldoli is plural. Moriandor. It's Morion. I-O-N. I-O-N. Because Ion is sun in both Quenya and Sindarin. So I think they meant to say Moriondor. Moriondor. The pronunciation of the Elvish here and there gets a little bit complicated, especially Joseph Malls, the person who plays Adar. His pronunciation of Quenya gets a tad confusing. Like, the vowels aren't precisely where they need to be, according to my friends who speak Quenya. This is not my opinion, it's theirs. So sometimes things get a little squishy on what precisely they meant for him to say. Yeah, 10-4. No problem, Jackie. Yeah, Morion. Moriondor. Because Yondor, Y-O-N-D-O-R, is also a sun term. It's like sons plural of. It gets... Quenya's complicated. It's complicated. It does get complicated, but yeah, Moriondor. Moriondor. But Morion and Morioni are probably also accurate. But yeah, I would love to see more interaction between the two of them, because Adar's not afraid to call Galadriel out on her shit. I'm kind of all about that. Galadriel in this last episode made me a bit uncomfortable, and I feel like that's a good thing. I think we should feel sympathy for Adar and these orcs in their own way, because they just want to live. They just want to do their own thing. And no one's going to let them do that because of their presumed evil nature. But I think if, left to their own devices, if no one was trying to, kill them on sight, would these free orcs be relatively peaceful and just do their own thing? Probably. And so we've been given this instance of taking the Tolkien had, he called it the orc problem. And it was the thought, do the orcs have immortal souls? Do they have souls, and are they ultimately redeemable? Or are they purely evil by their very nature? They are twisted, ruined creatures, and it's moral and just to destroy them. He struggled with that. Tolkien himself struggled with that question of, if they were elves that were twisted in nature, then elves have souls, and thus so would these, what they are calling uruk in the show. These uruk would have souls, and thus all of the orcs that are then later bred and created from them also have souls. If they are truly creatures that fall under the children of Iluvatar, then what? And I like that they're playing around with that, because it's a theme that Tolkien himself struggled with. So I like that it's being sort of hoisted on us as the audience to try and figure out, are the elves truly justified in destroying every orc they see? Or do the orcs deserve a chance to live peacefully on their own? And at what cost, right? Yeah, Galadriel's behavior is leaning into and sort of hinting at how she behaves during her final test. I think that she's skewing more on the evil dark side right now, and I think that there are going to be consequences to that, and that's where she's going to gain some of her wisdom. Yeah, Eru once again only left IKEA instructions, basically. Here are some pictures. Have at. Basically. It's actually pretty true. Yeah, Eru, much like the god of Christian lore, is just sort of absentee father, okay? Absentee father figure. Not at all present. And I mean, at least in Tolkien's world, he is supposedly communing with Manwë directly, but apparently he'll only speak to Manwë, which I think is favoritism. And I sort of, I back Melkor on that ain't frickin' fair. But I'm also of the opinion that Melkor isn't evil. He's contrary. He's not evil. He's saying discord. It doesn't mean that his theme was not beautiful. It means that it was discordant with the existing theme. And this is how, Morgoth or Melkor created rain, created thunderstorms, created snow and frost. His song was just as beautiful as everyone else's. It was just disharmonious with the theme that was currently being sung. And so I very much prefer approaching Sauron and Morgoth as not evil in nature, but just completely contrary. Sir, they are all your children, right? You made all of them, including Melkor, and Melkor is taking a lot of shit right now. Being put out in the void. They're like, oh no, you broke the things. He's like, that's what I'm here to do. I am the destructive nature of the one. Not everything is light and roses. Yeah. I mean, and this is sort of a criticism that I tend to have with fundamental Christianity as well. And this is not me trying to get down on anybody for their faith, but just it's one of those things that made me question stuff. It's just if this was all created the way it is, and he's the one truly in control, then, like, does he just not care? Does evil have its source in the divine just as much? And what does that mean, then? So yeah, this is the sort of stuff that I ask, and sort of the parallels that I drew. Even roses have thorns, right? Right. No, that's exactly it. And it's just like in that conversation with Elrond and Celebrimbor, when they're looking at the hammer of Feanor. And they're just like, amazing how this tool could create so much good. And something so powerful, and yet also be, you know, the cause of so much strife and evil. Divine neglect, the true source of all ill. I mean, yeah. But I do think it all sort of relates back to that ambiguity, in a way, that we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what the thought of Eru was. When he was like, yeah, I'm gonna let this happen. I'm gonna let this happen how it is. It's fine. We're like, what do you mean it's fine? This is not gonna be fun. It's like you're putting the children of Iluvatar down there knowing that all this crazy bullshit is going to happen to them. And you're okay with this? Okay. We are free to judge you. Even without taking over their will, Eru could still send them better signs and stop naming things in a way that makes the children hate each other. Yup. Yeah. Though, I mean, like, it's amusing to me. It's much like the Greek pantheon. Like, there are certain aspects where you're just like, this is some childish bullshit. And that's how I felt with Aule and Yavanna. Like, this couple bickered their way into creating two opposing races. They bickered their way into creating the dwarves and the Ents. Yavanna was just like, so I heard you got away with making the beings you weren't supposed to make, and the one god just said, it's fine. She's like, not cool, number one, and number two, like, nobody's defending the earth here. Nobody's defending all of the beautiful growing things that I have poured my being into creating. And how dare? And she's like, so I'm gonna make trees that fight back. To which Ally's like, well, like, they're gonna need wood for their fires, so whatever. Which seems such a pragmatic, autistic kind of approach to it all. I mean, like, they're gonna need trees for their fires, so you do you, I guess. You can make your living trees and make it more difficult, but, like, they're gonna need it anyway. Yeah, Yavanna is a petty cunt. But we love her. We love her for that. There's gotta be one. Yamantari, right? She's a queen. She's totally a queen. She's got attitude. Like, This is why in my head Yavanna cannot be white. She can't possibly be white. Girl has conviction and attitude, and just, like, there's so much there that would be wasted on a person with no melanin. If we ever get, like, the gods represented, I'm hoping that they have various skin tones too. But I also see Varda, the goddess of the stars. I also see Varda as just being this very, very dark-skinned, like she is the night, and she has this beautiful, like, what's the term for the super, super curly black hair? Is it called, like, 4C? Is it 4C hair? I'm blanking. I think it's something like that. I obviously don't have it. But like that really thick, tight curl black hair. Like, I picture her being just like the night sky, and then you see these stars sparkling in just this wonderful fro of natural dark curls. Yes. Yeah, if it's called kinky or coiled, yeah. I'm not sure what the proper term for it is, but friggin' gorgeous. Ugh. It's not the world I live in at all, but oh man, is it beautiful. But I'd love to see just, you know, more than just everybody's white. That's fucking boring. That's not the way it should be. That, and just, you know, these are gods that they originally took forms that had nothing to do with the standards of the children of Iluvatar. So, like, their initial forms weren't even elven looking. And when they did make them elven looking, like, I feel like colors would have been absolutely optional. Yavanna could be, like, deep forest green-skinned, for all we know. Like, mess around with it. Have some fun with it. It's one of those things. It's like, what's it called? Hades Town? Where it's like a musical based on the Greek pantheon. And so we have all of these, and I don't know if that's the same comic strip that has, you know, Hades with blue skin and Persephone with pink skin and all this stuff. But, like, I feel like that's sort of the approach that should be taken with the Valar. Especially the Aratar. I feel like all of these characters, you should get creative with it and have fun with it. Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think it's called 4C. 4C here. I know so little about Hades Town, but it keeps popping up on my For You page. At some point, I will dive down that rabbit hole and get completely obsessed, I'm sure. That time is just not now. Maybe when I'm recovering from surgery and I have, like, nothing but time. Yeah, I always pictured, yeah, witchery, I absolutely agree. I always pictured the gods as being far more fluid. You know, these are beings that, in their most natural state, don't have form at all. They are formless. They are beings of thought. And I feel like thought is so incredibly fluid and temporal that just, it could be something so beautiful and beyond description. And I feel like that makes it so much more fun. That you can really mess with stuff and, like, get creative. Just like, you know, you look at biblical depictions of angels and stuff like that. Like, stuff from Revelations where shit gets weird. You know, biblical stuff gets weird. But I love that. You know, where things are made of eyes and have 8 wings and, like, you know, like, fuck physics. Like, screw it. You're going for a vibe rather than an actual practical being that physically makes sense as we understand biology. Because these beings don't need physiology to match because they simply are. They don't need a form that makes sense. And so I just want people to get creative with it. Have fun with it, for fuck's sake. Yeah, you change your appearance with the frequency that some of us change our hair color. Absolutely. Have fun. I would. Yeah, biblical angels are terrifying. You love it, but it's weird as fuck. No, exactly. That's exactly it. I remember there was a post, I think it was on Tumblr and it was reposted, but someone was talking about, like, if the Valar were depicted in a horror movie. Like, if it was horror. If Tolkien was horror. Like, what would things be like? And I think their description of Varda was, like, just the depths of blackness, like a great yawning void of blackness with just that tiny glimmer of hope, but it's forever out of reach. And I was like, ooh, dark, I like it. Their version of Nienna, because she never stops weeping, right? They made her horrifying. And I totally bought into it. Horror Valar, yeah. Oh my gosh, what's going on with my phone? Holy shit. Steffi! If you're here in the chat, Steffi, thank you for joining my Patreon. Welcome. I'll say good timing too, because I'm currently handling all of my Patreon perks. So if you just signed up, I'll probably owe you some stuff. No, like let me see if I can find it. If I can find the whole horror Valar thing. Tolkien Valar horror. Has anyone done a horror imagining of the Lord of the Rings? No, that's not it. Cosmic horror and Tolkien. That's not what I'm looking for. The horrors of the Great War. No, that's not what I'm looking for either. I don't see it. It's not immediately apparent on here. Dang. It was such a cool thing though. It was really cool. Well, and then, you know, Urmo, who is the god of desire and dreams. Like, making him into a horror thing would be like trying to depict a nightmare. And I'm like, dude, how cool is that? Like, make him dark. Like, that could be some fucked up shit right there. Like, that would be your biblical character. Like, where shit gets weird. Mixing all sorts of things that just don't belong together. I love that idea of them having dark sides just as much as Melkor does. So yeah, Horror Valar. I remember randomly seeing that, and it was just the, like Nienna was the incessant wailing of one consumed with grief. And I'm just like, dang. Like, she doesn't even have a necessarily physical form other than just the tears that keep falling. So it's like a rising tide that's about to choke you. And the only thing that you can hear past the sound of tears falling is the incessant wailing of a person in grief. And I was like, damn. So yeah, stuff like that. Like I love when people get creative with it. So that's what I try and bring to my own fantasy worlds when I mess around with stuff, or used to at least, with Sandra. I haven't done anything new on my own. I did come up with a really interesting concept for like a half-fae thing. It all had to do with mycelium. And and sort of the connection between all things. It was very, very environmentalist, but it was super cool. Because certain kinds of mushrooms only grow in certain places based on the atmospheric conditions, the soil conditions, stuff like that. You can have, kinds of mushrooms that are completely unique to one specific area of the world, and yet mycelium connects almost everything in this sort of information network of fungal filaments. It's super cool. And so I thought, what if Fae were connected to that somehow? And it spiraled in my brain. It was something that, it was a dream that I had in part, and then I woke up and started thinking about it, and as I thought about it, it expanded into this wonderful thing. I know I have at least 6 pages of notes from it, just scattered somewhere. My stuff is all disorganized right now. It's in one of my notebooks somewhere. I have several of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notebooks on my desk right now. Along with the 9 reference books I have on my desk right now. Things are crazy here. But okay, I think we've pretty much covered all of the bases. We'll probably close this out right now. Unless someone's got something real important to say. But I feel like we covered some good stuff. And hey, you guys got to see some pictures of me from high school/college. Back in the day. Part of it feels so long ago, and another part of it feels so recent. I feel like I haven't changed all that much. The main thing that has changed is that I had my life partner, and now I don't. But many of my passions have remained the same since high school. I still love circus stuff. I still love androgyny. I still love Tolkien. And yeah, that hasn't changed. Probably won't change. But my gray boy has been very, very obedient. He's been a good boy. Look at him. Such a good boy. You're such a lump, though. Look how big you are. He's thick. Thick boy. That's a thick-ass boy. He's a good boy. But he's been very patient, and he is purring, so he deserves some cuddles and probably some treats. So we're gonna treat the kitties. Yeah, no worries. It was fun being hijacked for a bit. It was fun. Well, we'll probably do this a bit more. Certainly, I will probably I'm gonna take some time, de-stress a little bit, probably get some food in me, and then I'll probably be over on TikTok doing a calligraphy stream. I've been promising that for days, and my arms and hands are working today. I've recovered mostly from my COVID booster, so I should be alright to do at least a 2-hour. We'll do a 2-hour calligraphy stream. It'll be fun. So I'll see you guys over on TikTok. Thank you for joining me, for chilling out with me for a while. You guys were totally having your fun over on Dawn's stream. But yeah, Dawn was definitely busy today, so we will probably catch up and chat about episode 6, I want to say tomorrow or the next day. I'm sure he will poke me and ask me whenever he's ready. But yeah, so everybody please take care. Thank you for chilling out with me for so long. And yeah, I will definitely be live on Thursday night as per usual. So if I don't see you until then, Thursday night will be episode 7, and we will react to it live like we have been doing. So everyone take care, and I will see you then. Bye, guys. Bye.